So today is potato day. Now I've come up the allotment nice and early to try and get everything done today. It was actually quite cold this morning and there was a mist over the allotments, but the sun's coming out now and the sky is blue, so hopefully it will warm up a bit. So I decided to do a little bit of research before I get the potatoes in. So I'm just looking through one of my granddad's old gardening books and I'm just double checking my plan as well, just so everything's ready, because I dug the bed over a couple of days ago, so that's all ready. I just need to prepare it, dig the trenches, and then hopefully the potatoes can go in today. It was really cold this morning when I first got up here, but the sun is shining beautifully now and it's really hot. I wish I actually brought some shorts up here because it's just so hot. It feels like summer, which is great. But let's get on with the potatoes. Now, I am growing 2 varieties this year. Because the beds are slightly smaller, there's only room for 4 rows, so I'm growing 2 rows of each variety. And they are International Kidney and Charlotte potatoes. Now they are both salad varieties, which means they could be lifted a little bit earlier than your main crop, which gives me the opportunity to put some more crops once the potatoes come out, which is great, but I'll talk more about the second growing season in another video. Now what I've done with these potatoes is when I bought them, I laid them out in this tray so that they could chit. Now you don't have to chit, but I always do, and it just gives your potatoes that little extra start before they go in the ground. Now these have been inside the house on a windowsill and they've produced these great little purple sprouts which are about 1 inch long. Now what you don't want to do is you don't want to put them in a dark, cool place, because you will get these really long, spindly white sprouts, which is what you don't want. So these are ready and they've been chitting for about 6 to 7 weeks now, so they're perfect to go in. So before I put them in, I just want to show you this tool which I've been using to dig the trenches with. Now this is called a Chillington hoe, and it's actually a ridge hoe because it's got this nice point to the blade. And I got this for my dad for his birthday last year, but I use it all the time so I really should get myself one. But it's perfect for digging trenches because it's got that point in it. So I've been using it to dig the potato beds, and it's also great for ridging up your potatoes as well when you need to cover them with soil. It's perfect for that as well. So I really must get myself one, but I thought I'd show you all just because it is a really handy tool, and it's called a Chillington hoe if I didn't mention that already. Right, so the trenches have been dug. Now let's get the potatoes in. So what I've done is I have dug the trench to about 6 inches deep, and then I've laid some well rotted manure down into the bottom of the trench, and that's about 1 inch thick. And then it's just a matter of placing the potatoes on the top. So I'm going to have my International Kidneys first. Now I need to place them so the sprouts are at the top. So there's one going to go at the front there. And then they need to be spaced roughly about 1 foot apart. You could obviously place them closer together if you want to, but it will just mean you'll get less of a harvest from each plant. So about a foot apart, and just try not to get your potatoes mixed up. Not that it matters too much. So if I measured it correctly, there should be 9 potatoes per row. That's if I'm measuring correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, and then all you need to do is to cover the potatoes up, and it's that simple. Now I'll give that a quick rake over just to tidy it up a bit, and then there are only 3 more rows to put in. Right, that's all the potatoes in. It's so hot out there. I really can't believe how hot it is. But we mustn't mind because it hasn't been hot in such a long time and I miss it. And I just can't wait for summer, just to come up here and just to sit in the sunshine and relax. It will be lovely. But at least the potatoes are in, which is great. Next on the list is to put some carrots in. I've actually just put the kettle on because I'm going to have a cup of tea and a bit of cake before I get going on the carrots, because I am absolutely boiling and tired so I need a little rest. But the carrots are going to go in today. Now the variety is called Amsterdam Borsing 3 and I'm going to put 3 rows in. Now they're going to go next to the potato bed just because there's not any room in the root bed, so they're going to go in the legume bed next to the broad beans. Now I would have liked to have put them in sooner, but I've just been a little bit busy, so they're going to go in now. But I think they should be fine. I'm hoping to harvest them around August time, so I can get some dwarf French beans in there. So I think it should be okay. If not, then I'll just harvest them a little bit earlier and they can just be baby carrots. They'll just be a lot sweeter to eat. So that's the plan after the cup of tea. And then I've also got a little bit of work to do on my wildlife patch, but I'll have my tea first and then we'll get on with that. Oh, just in time as well. You always have to have tea at the allotment. I don't think I could be without my tea making facilities. Right, that's the trenches for the carrots all dug. Now I just use the point of my hoe to do the trenches, and they're not really trenches because they're only about half an inch deep, which is fine for the carrots. Now I've tried to remove as much stones as possible. Obviously you don't need to do that. Majority of the time all my carrots are forked anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter about looks anyway, it's the taste that counts. So I've done 3 little trenches there. They're all roughly about half an inch deep, and then it's just a matter of sprinkling the carrot seed into the trenches and then filling the trenches back over. Now what I normally try to do is, because you're going to have to thin the carrots out later on, and because the seeds aren't too small, I try and sow them so there are gaps there, so hopefully I won't need to do much thinning out later on. And obviously because I've got 3 trenches to do, so I don't really want to waste the seed. So just sprinkle your seed in the trench. Now you can do this successional. Obviously you could, well, I could have done 1 trench now, 1 trench a couple of weeks down the line, and then so on. But what I'm hopefully going to do is pick some of the carrots earlier on so they're nice and small, because they make delicious baby carrots, and obviously they store in the ground quite well as well. So that one's done, so I'll just cover that one over. And then once they're covered over, you just give them a little water and then let them grow. So I'll just do the other 2 rows. And last but not least, the last job today is going to be putting this new evergreen grass around the pond. Because what I think I've done wrong is I've not left any plants here for the frogs to hide in, because I've not seen a frog since, oh gosh, last year, about November last year. So I've not seen a frog. And I think they've all gone, which is a shame, because what I did have is I had a calendula here over the summer, and it overhung into the pond, and the frogs absolutely loved it, but obviously it died because it's annual. So when I ripped it up, I think the frogs weren't happy, so they moved on. Really. But I did build a little hotel for them, so I did think, I did try and help, but no, I haven't seen any, and there's no frog spawn either, which I'm quite gutted about. But so there are new plans for this area, and the first plan is to add some evergreen shrubs like this one. Now this is an evergreen grass, and it's called Carex, and it's called Ice Dance. Now it's obviously evergreen, so it's going to be there all the time, and it only grows to about 30 centimeters in spread, which is great, because obviously I don't want anything big here because it's only a small area. But I think the frogs will like it. I'm hoping they will like it anyway. It will give them somewhere to hide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it about here, in between the two rose bushes, because obviously I'm going to give them a little bit of room to grow, but the grass won't obviously grow very high. And I'm going to leave the little log pile behind, so there'll be the log pile for the frogs, there'll be the evergreen grass for the frogs, and then the pond, so hopefully they'll find that little area quite nice. Now I want to add some more evergreen plants to this area, and I was thinking of adding a hellebore. Now I went to Mottisfont Abbey in Romsey, and they had some beautiful hellebores, and I've never seen hellebores before in my life, and I was fallen completely in love. They're so beautiful, and I've heard that they're evergreen as well, their foliage is evergreen, so I might try and get one of them and maybe put it over that side, and then I think the rest is just going to be annual flowers, because I've got a lot of flowers growing at home from seed, but I think that'll be enough for the frogs. I'm hoping that they come back this year. If they're not hiding, I hope they do come back this year, and I hope they like it a bit better. But I'm going to pop that in, give it a water, and then go home. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.